I've not used this before, so I'm just trying it out.
Like the old times, we'll hit pause and then hit a rewind. You wanna come over, just like the old days, and we'll watch the time just fly. Hey buddy, no strangers here. These times I hold them dear. My door's open, so come on in. This was great, let's do it again. Like the old days, and we'll watch the time just fly. Do you wanna come over? Just like the old times, we'll hit pause and then hit rewind. You wanna come over? Just like the old days, and we'll watch the time just fly.
It's Gazz, it's Zaz, streaming together, mass hysteria. We're talking Ghostbusters today, but not just Ghostbusters, we're talking the supernatural as well. How are you, Gazz?
I'm good. How are you?
Mate, I couldn't possibly be any better. Time zones be damned, we're doing it. It's really good to catch up. We'll do the Clubhouse roll call real quick, and then we'll get into it. So if you want to be part of the Clubhouse roll call, you just have to be a channel member or a Patreon supporter. We have Wilhelm, Toy and Hobby. You just sent me some lines for the SWC. He did a really good job. Casey Wheeler, Handsome and Ratface 44 reviews. David, Samuel Blaine, our mate Nate, the Retro Tinker. Cindy K, who's going to get one of these Space Commander hats. Sunny's Sundries. Jonathan Sorensen, who I had to cancel hanging out with last night, unfortunately, due to Wi-Fi issues. Happy Accident. Joshua Allen, and our buddy, and unfortunately a bit sick, Adam from Go Figure. Hope you feel better, buddy. Scuba Pete, keeping us safe in the oceans below. Our pal Phil from Treasures for Trigger. Hans Chow kicking that door in. Ken Poe, Brendan Haley, Jason Clark, Grindhead Jim, Justin Bryant, and Space Commander keeping us safe in the stars above. And then we have our members, which is Cindy K, Gaz, hey, that's you. Beta Ray Bob, Spacey, Jason Stillwell, it's Chad, Ryan Sweeney, Keep on Collecting, and Crash.
Crash
gets his own show too. He gets Crash and Burn. Which is a great show that we do on Patreon. Let's say hi to the chat real quick, shall we?
Hello, chat.
Hello, chat. Johnny Sorensen was here, but he had to go to work at the Slime Factory, unfortunately, so he's going to catch the replay. I did offer to call in sick for him, though. He didn't get back to me. Happy April Fool's Day. Well, we are a couple of old fools, aren't we?
Yeah.
There's no fool like an old school fool. Oh, anyway, Rolando's here. How are you, buddy? Jeff, how are you, mate? Jeff saying hello to Rolando. Stephen Hall, how are you, my friend? Joe Fan 84. Now, I don't think that he is the 84th Joe Fan, although that's pretty high up when you think about how many Joe fans there are. I think he's just maybe a fan. 84, or he was born in 84. What do you think your guess is on that one? When did G.I. Joe come out? 83 or 84?
82.
82.
If he's 84, he's just 2 years off.
Well, there you go. Well, you know what? I definitely wasn't collecting G.I. Joe in 82, but we're G.I. Joe guys, but I think we can both admit to probably not enjoying the first.
Yeah, I think I got into it in about 83, 84.
Yeah, 84 for me, probably. Phil's here. How are you, buddy? Cindy, how are you? We're just waiting on a pin so that we can get your hat to you. Zap! Been binging the channel's back catalog. Ah, cheers, buddy.
It's a Joe. It's Zap.
Zap! I hope he has a mustache. Facebook user here is asking for a link to the new Ghostbusters figures.
Bet you that's Bill Murray.
I reckon that is Bill Murray or his brother. Don't tell me. Oh, I know this. It was.
Isn't it Brian Doyle Flynn? Is that his name?
Yeah,
something like that.
Something like that. I didn't come with my homework prepared. Woodman's here. How are you, buddy? Good to see you, my friend. Nothing better than watch. You're sick in bed with the best buddies ever. Thanks, Adam. Born in 84.
See, you were right.
He's only a baby. He's only a baby. Rob Vegas, how are you? G'day, everyone.
The guy's so cool, they named the city after him.
Right? That's what I heard. Now, we're G.I. Joe guys, right? You and I.
Yes,
we like some Joes more than others, and we hate some. Well, hate's a strong word, but we definitely dislike, have a distaste for.
There's only one that I hate.
Happy 40th to you, Joe Fan 84.
Happy birthday, buddy.
I got it, Cindy. We'll get it to you. So we're Joe guys, but we're also Ghostbuster guys too. We're busters. Buster makes us feel. No, hang on.
Yeah.
What a weird line. Buster makes me feel. So we're going to talk about this. Bam!
Oh, look at that! Look at
What a brilliant idea.
what a super cool idea.
Now, here's the thing, right? We would have loved these as a kid.
Oh, yes, I would have.
But what's even better is that we get to have them as adults.
Mm.
But I think I love the original, the real Ghostbusters action figures.
Mm-hmm.
How are you, Pericles? Good to see you, buddy.
I will say that I never had any of the original Ghostbuster figures.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, damn. We just weren't into it, or we just had other things going on?
I wasn't into it. I was more into G.I. Joes. It's like once I played with G.I. Joes, even my Star Wars figures went to the wayside.
Yeah, look, same. I think everything went to the wayside for me too until Ninja Turtles came out, and then Turtles got some playtime. So He-Man went to the wayside. Ghostbusters, maybe, like, I still sort of pulled them out every now and again, but G.I. Joe got most of the playtime.
Yes, sir.
Tony is here. These two busters. Yeah.
That's right. We're busting and it makes us feel good.
Hey, Gazz, who's your favorite out of the Ghostbusters?
Who's my favorite? I'm gonna be honest. My favorite is Vakeman, but I do love Ray. It's my.
I knew you were going to say that for some reason.
Yeah.
I think in our group you're the Ray. In our group, you're the heart and soul of our group. Yeah, they were near perfect. The only issues I ever had with the real Ghostbusters were the neutrino ones would snap, because we played pretty rough with our toys. Not that we disrespected the toys and just were breaking them all willy-nilly, but Egon. Well, yeah, I reckon between Nate and Adam, they're our Egon of the group.
Definitely Egon, right? Yeah. Wizardry.
Wizards, both of them.
Nate and Adam would be Egon and Ray of our group.
I hear you.
Definitely. They're the brains.
Well, Stephen met Ernie Hudson. That's pretty cool.
Ernie Hudson was cool. Yeah.
I can't believe that Ernie Hudson tried out for the cartoon character of Winston and didn't get it. Imagine being available to voice your own character.
I believe they told him, you sound too much like the character. He's like, I am the guy. But didn't he voice it like later on? He came back and voiced it like later on, right? I think
no, I don't. Oh, I mean, I don't think so. I know they had two different voice actors. I don't think Ernie Hudson voiced either of them.
Here's something interesting. I bought these a while ago, and I think I'm going to finally fall through with my idea. I picked these up.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Patches, official patches for them.
Yeah.
I just got to get the jumpsuit, and I'm going to get a red or I think it's a red, like button down shirt. Or shirt jacket. So I can do that one scene where he goes talk to Sigourney Weaver. At the orchestra's outside. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
You're gonna do that whole hot shoe shuffle thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that hot shuffle thing. in the whole.
So they're up. I think we get more news come June.
Yeah, June 8th, I believe.
Yeah,
at
yeah.
WonderCon, Ghostbusters Day.
Nice. As far as the real Ghostbusters action figures, because I grew up with two brothers, and a lot of the times that meant that we would be able to complete certain collections, whether they be divided between us or whatever, right? So Ninja Turtles, we would we'd get pretty much all the turtles because birthdays, whatever. Voltron, we've got all the lines, which makes it very difficult when you form Voltron if you're one giant Voltron between the three of you. And with the Ghostbusters, I picked out. So my older brother picked out Venkman, my younger brother picked out Ray, and I got to get both Winston and Egon. So I was pretty lucky.
Well, more than lucky, because they're both great characters.
Oh yeah, I agree. This is not an April Fool's joke.
No, it's not. I love the head sculpts, and I love the fact that Venkman doesn't have his boots tucked, his legs tucked in his boots. Right?
He was always a little bit disheveled in comparison to the others.
Yeah.
So we're obviously going to get the proton packs. The neutrino ones are attached, which is great.
Yeah, I think they all come with those little accessories. Always come with a trap, goggles, and the PK meter.
Yeah, love it. Did we ever get into the Filmation Ghostbusters? Yeah, I loved that Ghostbusters cartoon. In fact, I'd still have that theme song in my head every now and again.
I have not seen that in a very, very long time.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as a kid. I enjoyed the toys. Long after I stopped playing with those Filmation Ghostbuster toys, who made those ones? Someone let me know who made those toys. But long after I stopped playing with those, Tracy actually jumped over into my Ninja Turtle playtime. So he got to get some extra life in the Ninja Turtles.
What was that? The Filmation.
Kenner. I think so.
Oh, Kenner made them. Really?
Yeah. So who did the real Ghostbusters then? I thought that was Kenner. Did Kenner do both?
It's amazing that they had to get the okay. They borrowed the Ghostbusters name from that version of Ghostbusters, which wasn't Filmation. It was a live action show. And
I've never seen the live action show.
I've seen like little snips of it.
Yeah. I've seen clips. As an adult, I've seen clips.
Did I just make up a word? I said schnips.
Schnips.
The word here on Shoot the Shit. Schnips.
That's okay, Phil. You're not required to do homework for us, mate. We'll figure it out. If we had to hazard a guess, though, who do we think did make those the Filmation Ghostbusters toys?
I would think somebody like who was other big companies back then? I don't think Playmates.
Toy Biz, not Toy Biz. They did Marvel, not Toy Biz.
No, I'm thinking like Remco.
Remco,
no,
maybe.
They made like the real cloth stuff, right? Remco, Tycho.
Zap reckons Tycho. Until anyone tells me otherwise, I'm going to just believe that Zap's correct.
Yes.
But will they do a Firehouse, mate? It would be so easy to do in this scale.
I know that they're doing, I believe, an Ecto 1 as well for these figures.
Yeah. So we'll go through the pictures then, and then we can go through our speculation. All right. So we get the 4 figures here. How they do it, I'm not too sure. I think you can probably get them all.
I think it's a 4-pack. The 4-pack.
Right.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. I hope that they do come with some attachable streams that we can cross the streams.
Even so, you could probably make up something yourself.
Adam definitely could. Hot glue gun is probably all you need.
Oh yeah. Here we go.
But the proton packs look appropriate. You know, they don't have a lot of color going on except for where you need it, which is the red dots there. But thanks, Space Commander. I thought you were going to bed.
Space.
There we are. Space Commander. So what is it? How do you pronounce that? Shaper Toys?
Schaefer? The Shaper? Yeah.
Across the streams.
Names.
So anyway, the four figures I think look great. Obviously, they're using the same molds except for the legs for Peter Venkman, which is fine. I like it.
Yeah.
The head sculpts look appropriate. The backpacks are, they look great. The trap looks great. The goggles, as far as I can tell, look good. PKE meter. The only thing that would make that better or superior is if you could move the side bits in and out, which is not a game changer.
Is it though? Do we know if it's not, or because this is just
I don't know.
A render, right? Right. I think this is a render, so it could move in and out.
Well, Adam's come back with Tycho, so maybe it was different no matter depending on where you came from. So we've got 2 for Tycho. I could just easily Google this, but you know what? We're gonna let the chat figure it out.
Filmation Ghostbusters, right?
Yeah,
I'm gonna Filmation.
You're gonna check it out.
I'm doing it right now. Yeah, if I can spell it right.
And I know I'm nitpicking, right? Because we don't have them in hand. We don't know for sure. But to have a little screen on the PKE would be cool.
Oh, that would be cool.
Being able to open up the ghost trap as well would be cool. But again, at this scale, I'm just happy that we're getting them.
Oh, come on!
I don't know if I mentioned I'm happy for these.
Yes, I mean, come on now we can have the Ghostbusters interact with GI Joe and Cobra. Cobra's got a problem in the Thunder and then in the Terradrome. Who are they gonna call?
Ghostbusters. He-Man.
He-Man. Those damn kids.
Yeah, I think a Firehouse would be great. So I think these guys would have gone well when you start seeing those crazy critters that came out later in G.I. Joe. You know what I also noticed with the real Ghostbusters is that a lot of their ghosts were actually just like universal monsters, and they weren't even ghosts at all. Like werewolves, mummies, Frankenstein's monster. They're not ghosts.
I think they were more into the paranormal, like, into that.
You didn't get a lot of ghosts. I mean, you got the ghosts that came with the Ghostbusters, but as far as individual figures they were more monsters than ghosts, which I don't have an issue with because I like the monster. And to be fair, they also did that over on the other cartoon as well for the Ghostbusters.
Well, I mean, they didn't have like proton pack style weapon like these equipment, right?
They had like bubble gum guns and
so this is more for the free floating torso aberrations.
Space Commander's back with his Tycho.
No. Space Commander's correct. I just looked it up. It's done by that Schaefer Toys. I'm looking at it. Got you. Yeah.
Possessed toilets, though, I can handle. A possessed toilet, right? There's still a ghost possessing something, right? Because you got that bathtub that was in
Almost
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, Almost ate her. Yep.
Yeah, and that was sort of like.
I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Those Ghostbusters and the real Ghostbusters, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right here. I'm looking at the car. Their Ghostbusters vehicle, whatever it's called. And I'm thinking the Ecto 1. I'm looking at that Ecto 1. I take the Ecto 1 any day of the week over that.
Well, their car that came with the Filmation Ghostbusters was a sentient.
But so is Ecto 1. So is Ecto. Ecto's alive too.
It's but look, I love Ecto 1. So
you can't park that here.
What a great introduction to that vehicle. And then he lists off all the issues that are wrong with it.
Well, I got it as steel. This needs a new transmission, brakes, brake pads, shocks.
Yeah. All right. Well, good night, Space Commander. Thanks for trolling. It wasn't really trolling, though. Information is always welcome. Space Commander.
Space Commander.
Does this mean an Ecto 1 is in G.I. Joe style? It is in definite scale to G.I. Joe, and we're going to take a look at it. Yeah. First, we're going to have a closer look at these O-ring figures.
Oh,
I mean,
look at this. Wow.
how brilliant is that? How brilliant is that?
They look good.
And hello to you, Gilster. How are you, buddy? And hello to Impossible Pie. Where did they come up with the name Ecto-1? That's a good question. Space Commander's taken off, so...
Ectoplasm, Ecto-1.
Yeah. There was an Ecto-2 as well in the toy line.
Yeah, it was a little helicopter, kind of like they what was the name of that Bond helicopter? It had a female name. If I wasn't online, I would know it.
Right.
I'm trying little Nelly from
Little Nelly.
From I want to say not Diamonds. You Only Live Twice. He flew it and she protected her honor.
Well, there you go. So here we are looking at Peter Venkman and Egon. Ray.
Egon. He gives that smirk. He's like, yeah.
It was definitely funnier than he needed to be.
Classic.
But yeah, I mean, I think these look fantastic.
Look at the trap. Look at the trap. Look how big the trap is. It looks great. It's great size. Man, that's cool.
Oh yeah, HasLab Stay Puft. Yes, please.
Oh yeah,
I love that one. Me too. Don't forget to leave a like if you're watching. Yeah, subscribe if you're new. Gazz has his Instagram link in the description too if you want to go check him out. But yeah, these look brilliant. I never understood because I used to hang out with some of the Ghostbuster cosplayers when we used to go to conventions and stuff here, and they had real great looking suits, custom built proton packs and stuff, excellent stuff. But I could never figure out what that piping was that came out of their leg because it didn't really ever go anywhere. It came out of their leg and into the back.
What was it? I think in Ghostbusters 2, Rick Moranis, he puts on Spangler's Spangler's one of his jumpsuits, and in it there is like a hose that's down on the right thigh. Now these are actually flight suits. I looked it up. They're flight suits, so they could be for like because I think they have to wear like a G-force, and the pilots have to wear like a G-force suit underneath, and it might be like an oxygen hose that plugs into it. So they might have like some sort of like monitoring thing in his pocket or something that clicks onto that might plug into the pack or something like that, or whatever gear they have on their tool belts.
Well, I've heard some people mention that it was maybe like cooling fluid or whatever, but I don't know, and I've never seen anything that properly states what it is. But I will say that I'm glad that they included it in the figure. And with the proton packs on these guys, they just look great. And I'm glad that they sculpted on the straps as well.
Yeah. And then they got the deco, the little patch on the side. I'm glad they didn't do the 2 patch with the ghost going.
Right. Yeah. Oh man, could you imagine? They could do what they could do is they could do for the Ghostbusters 2 black/gray suits.
Oh, I love those
hats on them, and then you're good to go for Ghostbusters 2. G-force control, but it's air conditioning in universe. Okay, perfect. Ecto 3 was a dune buggy, and I loved it. Yeah, I mean they could do all of this stuff. I want all of it.
Ecto 3 is a dune buggy. I would have thought maybe Ecto 3 would have been like a boat, like an old fire boat. Where they got like where they got wands throwers like where the water guns would be, just be throwers. That'd be cool.
Right, that'd be cool. I think in the Ghostbusters video game they had a boat, but that was it's been a while since I played that. But let's take another look at Winston and Ray again, both looking very cool.
Yep.
Can't get a really good look at the PKE or the goggles down there.
Yes,
but I love these are obviously their Ghostbusters 1 looks because Winston's got his mustache. But as we can see in the background is the Ecto 1. So we can circle back around to the figures in a minute, but let's take a look at the Ecto 1 while we got it.
Look at that.
So that's the scale of it, and that looks pretty perfect to me.
Yeah. Look at that.
Such an iconic vehicle, and the zany stuff on top of the roof and on the side. You know what? You're right. It's got its own life. It's its own character.
It looks good.
And that is true. That is true. If they don't already bring one out for these guys, there is the Playmobil.
That's true. Very true. Look at it also has like I believe a structure that comes out of the back where the packs can fit onto.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, here is some epic shots of it on street level, which is pretty cool. If it had lights and sounds as well, just gorgeous if it did. I don't think it does, but I mean, imagine just even if it's just the siren.
How great is that siren?
It's so iconic. It's just brilliant. And here is your as you mentioned, you can pull that out back there. So hopefully it's got all the appropriate seats for it.
Yeah, all 4 doors open up, I believe. So yeah, you can fit them all in there.
But yeah, you can fit just about every G.I. Joe you want in there, except for maybe the sides. The sides might be too big, too tall.
Oh, he'd be right on top.
Has to have a siren. It has to. I hope so. Because it does look great. It doesn't need it. It'd be icing. It'll be icing. It'll be extra. You know what I mean? Like if they did.
It's a wondrous thing.
Oh, that's pretty cool. All right. I wonder who that can be.
The guy that's a wizard.
He's a wizard.
So
let's take another look at these because this Ecto one is just sublime. It's slime. No, it's great.
wow.
And I've had a few 1/18 scale Ecto ones in my collection before, but none of which would fit a G.I. Joe. These are like just model scale ones.
I was just thinking of how many actual Ecto ones I have. I have the Transformer one. I have the Lego one over there. The smaller one. I have a big, I think almost G.I. Joe scale, Johnny Lightning one. It's like diecast.
Yeah. I've got a diecast one as well. Impossible Pie. I'm shocked as well. Shocked, but in a good way. I'm zapped.
I am looking forward to this.
Yeah. These guys, though,
they look great.
They did an amazing job. And what I think is great is that the O-ring form is getting a resurgence, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that it's not like the second era of
the modern 4-inch scale.
Yeah. Because this is great.
It's just like right out of left field. It's like, why are you doing this? I don't even want to know why you're doing this. I'm just happy they're doing it. Thank you.
So what do you then think that they could do? Like HasLab for the Marshmallow Man would get you a pretty decent scale one, but that's going to be harder for everyone to get one.
Yeah. I mean, as much as I don't want to think I don't know if this is going to be like a one-off. Maybe it's just going to be a one-off. They're just doing it because it is the anniversary coming up, right?
Right.
But if they were to do that, I mean, I would rather them not do a HasLab for it because I would want everybody to try to get one. But if they're going to do one, I guess maybe instead of just a Marshmallow Man, maybe like a playset of like the top of Dana Barrett's home, the top of the building, and then have Marshmallow Man climbing up and the whole thing there with the demon dogs and stuff. That would be pretty cool. And then you give Dana Barrett and Rick Moranis, I forget what his name is. Was it Tully? Is that his name?
Louis?
Tully? Louis Tully character, little O-ring figures. That'd be pretty cool. And a Janine Melmans.
So as much as I think it would be great if they did Janine, if they did Louis, if they did Dana. I think that would be all great, right? But if I had to choose and I couldn't have it all, because you know me, I want it all, then I prefer them just to bring out some ghosts, right? Because they're Ghostbusters, right? I want those characters as well. Don't get me wrong, but throw in Slimer, the green spud, the taxi guy, the skeleton taxi man.
Oh, yeah.
Get him in there,
or the librarian,
the librarian ghost. Yeah. In both forms.
What's the plan, Ray? What's the plan, Ray?
Get her. Get her, Ray.
Great plan, Ray.
So many iconic scenes, and maybe even those the demon dogs, they would be cool too.
Oh, it
but
smells
something
like burnt dog. Oh, sorry, Figment.
All right, who brought the dog? Phil up here somewhere mentioned like a 5-pack of ghosts, which they should have done back in the day.
Yeah,
which I agree.
If they do a Lewis, they have to do a Lewis from 2, where he's wearing the suit with the earmuffs.
Right, or at least if they do him from Ghostbusters 1, have him with the helmet. The big, But yeah, also to be able to also put him in a Ghostbusters suit would be cool. Oh yeah. Jack Burton. That sounds familiar. Right.
Oh hell yeah, you got me.
Don't you have a Jack Burton?
Me? I have a Jack Burton pop.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, I do have a Jack Burton. Hold on, right here. Yeah, remember? What was it? Chinatown Trucker.
Yeah.
I'll take that Jack Burton, please.
Yes, the game was great. And you kept saying, "I'll take Jack Burton." That was a great time. How are you, Casey? Good to see you, buddy.
Actually, that would be really nice one if they could do that. Jack Burton with a Pork Chop Express. That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah. So I mean, this opens it up. This opens it up to so many possibilities outside. I mean, Ghostbusters is by Jam, but this also leaves it open to many other movie properties as well that would go great with this scale.
I mean, you can do so much with this, right? I mean, think about all the characters. I mean, if you're legit going to do an O-ring line for Ghostbusters, there are so many characters just from the movies alone that you could come out with. Peck, the mayor, chief of police, the Con Ed guy. From 1 and 2. I've never seen that before. Shut it off. I don't want to.
Yeah. What was that? What was the guy in the painting again? That was Vigo.
Vigo.
Yeah.
Oh, Vigo.
So I think another thing that they could do is have a modular firehouse. We could have like different rooms, but again, I mean that seems pretty.
If I were gonna design the firehouse as a playset, I would go along the lines of Castle Grayskull, where I would just make it closed and then I would open it up. Like you close it so you're in front of the firehouse with the door, and then you open it up, and then you have all the floors.
Yeah. It has to be able to fit the Ecto 1 in it.
Well, yeah, it's gonna have to be wide. Well, I guess. Yeah.
Ghost Trap, the office, all of the desk. Like I remember putting together the Lego Ghostbusters firehouse and thinking that was pretty cool.
I wanted that so bad.
But they are going to sell. They are going to sell like hotcakes. They will, definitely.
So our Ghostbusters fans out there, Bustin makes them feel good.
But you do have options for. How cool! Let's talk about the soundtrack for a minute, right? Because I was talking with Spacey. I was talking to Spacey about the soundtrack, and he sent me a few good links. But I was thinking like the one for me is called Magic. I believe it's Magic.
Yeah, it's when all the ghosts come out of the when he shuts it down. I believe it's magic. Yeah.
Breathe. So have you ever heard that song in its entirety?
Yeah, because I used to listen to that soundtrack. My grandmother had bought me the soundtrack on record.
Yeah.
It over to me. So I have it somewhere around here. I thought it was like right over here, but it's not. So it might be.
So the Magic starts off like really slow and like it builds up to that part. And when I first heard it, I was like, I do not remember this song being in the movie. But then it hits that iconic part of the song, and it's like, oh, okay, I see.
I actually love the like the bluesy was it the Ghostbusters theme song that they have on there?
I don't remember
the name of it. What's the name? I have to come up with the list here.
I thought Ghostbusters 2 had a pretty good soundtrack as well.
Oh yeah. Run DMC did the rap. Bobby Brown had the theme. I think the theme for it, right?
I love Bobby Brown's song. Came on to supermarket radios for so long. Like I could just be shopping for Vegemite, and that song would come on. Like, oh, this is great.
I should have pulled this out. Okay, so the main title, Vakeman, the best one. I'm trying to look. I have them all. I have the list right here. Oh, what is it? What's the name of the song? These are all instrumentals. What the hell? I didn't realize there's so many songs on here.
It's also got a really great just orchestra soundtrack as well.
That's what pulled up.
Well, there you go. But it is really good. Like just some of the ambient sounds, and some of the iconic themes that they even use in the game, because it's just undeniably Ghostbusters. But I reckon I watch Ghostbusters. I used to watch it like all the time. I reckon now at least once a year I'll watch Ghostbusters again. Ghostbusters 2, it gets a bad rap, but I still really like it.
That's an actually good movie. I saw that in the theater. I love that one just as much as I love the original one. I don't know why it gets such a bad rap. It's a good movie. It's a fun one.
It's a fun movie. I'll say this, that the tone between the two of them, if you watch them back to back, the tone is very different.
Yep.
So the first one is very adult. There's smoking, there's drinking, there's swearing. And the second one is definitely, now that the cartoon's popular, it's definitely toned down. They made Ernie Hudson shave off his mustache look like the cartoon character he wasn't allowed to voice, right?
The funny thing is, I remember hearing them saying that there wasn't too much of the cartoon, like they almost like negated the cartoon for the second movie, because like the cartoon itself was supposed to take place before the original Ghostbusters movie came out, right? Because like I think in season 1 there's an episode where they actually go to Hollywood and they're filming in the Ghostbusters movie,
right? Yeah.
So I remember someone saying that the second movie, like disregards the cartoon, like it doesn't happen. But I gotta say maybe not, because if you look at Janine, she's just very much like she was in the cartoon. So the glasses and all that stuff. And then there's a couple other things that are in there. Even the Ghostbuster symbol, right? Because you see it on the screen here above there where it says 8118, right? That's the original Ghostbuster symbol. The one from 2 looks like the Ghostbusters from the cartoon, like he's stepping out of it and stuff. Running around. So I mean, they paid a little bit of homage to it, I think.
Well, I mean, there's probably a lot of pressure to do so. Yeah. I mean, I guess they bringing Slimer back into 2, but holding back and not making him like a super main character, I think was because I like Slimer as much as the next kid back in those days, but Slimer and the real Ghostbusters was when it was starting to get a little bit okay, it's getting a little bit much now.
Okay. All right, so the song that I'm talking about is "Cleaning Up the Town" by the That's a great song, and the original, because originally they wanted John Belushi in it as Vakeman.
Yeah.
Right. So I can only imagine that he and Dan Aykroyd would have done that song as the Blues Brothers, right?
Right.
It's very much like a Blues Brothers song.
If he cameoed as the Blues Brothers somewhere in there, I reckon that would have worked as just a
I mean, I think he
passed on
before this. But that would have been pretty cool. But I mean, I can't imagine anybody else than Peter Vakeman being played by Bill Murray. I can't imagine anybody else playing him.
I haven't seen the new movie yet either. Have you seen it?
I have.
How many Slimers do you give it?
How many Slimers? I give it a 10 out of 10 Slimers. I think it's a good movie. I enjoyed it. I know it's getting a little bit of bad publicity, or bad reviews or whatever, but I enjoyed it. It was fun. The only knock I have against it is the way that the bad guy looks in the movie.
Okay. Well, I haven't seen it, but I've seen the one that came before this one, and I liked that movie. However, I will say that I'm not a fan of kids being Ghostbusters, right?
Yeah.
Now, I know we've met this before. I feel like the proton packs would be way too heavy for them to be lugging around.
Agreed.
Also, they're children, so they really shouldn't be going around with proton packs anyway. And I'm all for them. And this is where I think people go wrong, right? When they come to, we want to pass it on to a younger generation. Yeah, that's fine, but that doesn't mean kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get it to Paul Rudd, perfect, excellent. I love that actor. Definitely make him a Ghostbuster.
Yeah,
but you don't have to give proton packs to children. They could be, adults, early 20s or whatever. Because the Ghostbusters didn't start off as kids that grew up and then had to, that's ridiculous.
Well, in that one, what was it? Afterlife. I think it's because nobody like wanted to do it. It was all hidden away. It was packed away, hush hush, right?
Right.
They all split up. They weren't really talking to each other, and it was the daughter of Egon. It was the granddaughter of Egon, grandchildren of Egon's, right?
Right.
So that's the reason why. And this one, I think the brother he's a older teen, so he's above 18, I guess. He's older than 18, so he's actually working as a Ghostbuster. But it's like the little one's underage. But I mean, gotcha. They do it in a way where it works. I think it kind of works. But it's all just for the fun of it anyway. It's Ghostbusters.
Right. So
we all wanted to be Ghostbusters when we were kids anyway.
So what was that second cartoon of Ghostbusters that came out? Extreme Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I got a little bit. I've seen some stuff of it. I haven't really watched any of the episodes, but I get a little bit of that when I'm watching the new one. A little bit of that feel to it as well.
Right, and that also sort of leaned into training a younger generation to be new Ghostbusters. But I just, if it were me, because when I was a kid playing Ghostbusters, I didn't want to be a kid Ghostbuster. I wanted to grow up and be a Ghostbuster, right?
Heck yeah.
But we'll circle back to these toys for a second, then we'll move on. But I think that if they just did a mixed bag of just ghosts, just random ghosts like they used to do with the pack-ins for real Ghostbusters, I think that'd go really well. Marshmallow Man, obviously, for obvious reasons. Slimer, for obvious reasons. And pretty much any character from the first or second movie would be great. But if they just went as far as to throw in random ghosts for these guys to bust, then I would think it was a grand slam.
But then again, I mean, you can take anything and make it a ghost for them to fight. Anything.
That's true. Nemesis Enforcer. Galactus.
Some of these.
Oh yeah, some of those. Perfect. One of these.
Yeah. And one of these.
Oh yeah. All right, that works. Okay. Use your imagination is what you're saying.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that with bringing the kids in there, obviously, because the movies where they put kids in there, it's for the child that's watching the movie to kind of relate. And I think as us as an older generation probably don't like it too much because we want the original Ghostbusters. But I think it kind of works because it's introducing them to a younger generation. And
we were kids, Gazz, when we were watching the original Ghostbusters.
But
the original Ghostbusters didn't have kids.
The original Ghostbusters for me was like one of the fabled movies. I didn't see it in '84. I saw it like a couple years later. I think my friend's father had it on a VHS, and that's how I seen it. But it was like a fabled movie. It's this like wondrous thing that I didn't think I was gonna be able to see because it was like an adult movie to me, right? It was like a grown-up movie, like Rambo. Like I'm not gonna see Rambo. It won't let me watch a Rambo. Or Terminator. I couldn't see Terminator because it's like, but it's this fabled movie. So when I saw it, I was just blown away.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be like Peter Venkman. And then you watch the cartoon, and it's totally like, it's dropped down to kid level.
Well,
when you
yeah,
watch
but
it,
that makes sense. Like they did the same thing to RoboCop.
Oh,
You know,
well, that's a completely different story. I mean, like RoboCop's about killing. These guys are just busting ghosts because busting makes them feel good.
The original scene with the librarian, that legitimately scared me when I was a kid.
Me. Oh yeah.
It put the fear in me. And it was probably the only scene in the movie that really, really scared me. Everything else, as a kid, I could handle, but it was just that one scene that got me every time.
It's like they put it in there to prep you for the rest of the movie.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It's like this is gonna make you jump. Everything else is gonna be a little tamer.
Right. So we agree that these are awesome. If there's a way I can get them, I definitely will. They are one final.
I don't think they're going to be exclusives or anything like that. I think they're just going to be available on that day. Hopefully, they're going to be available after.
Not just Hasbro Pulse exclusives. That would be.
I didn't. When I read it, doesn't say anything about it, so I'm not too sure. So it said like it was like Wizard Con or something like that, and Ghostbusters Day, and that's when they're going to be available. So hopefully they'll be available for everybody, so everybody can get some Ghostbusters and do some busting because it makes us all feel good. It's not going to get old. I'm sorry.
Will these be stupidly overpriced? I mean, probably.
I'm thinking probably if you look at them, I mean, the O-rings have been going anywhere from 20 to 25. So you're looking at 25. It's probably 100 for the 4-pack. Maybe a little less because it's a 4-pack. I'm guessing. That's what I'm guessing, but we'll see.
So Super 7 are doing O-ring G.I. Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Hasbro are doing O-ring Ghostbusters for the 40th anniversary.
And doing Transformers O-ring crossovers still, apparently.
Oh, they're still doing that. Yeah, because I want to get the. Hopefully, they do that triple T. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think Chad said that was an actual go now, right? Because it was a rumor before. Yeah,
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, haven't seen it.
I'm sure it's a foregone conclusion. Great band. Have you heard of Foregone Conclusion? Great band.
No, I'll have to look it up.
British band. Check them out. Google them now. Foregone Conclusion. British band. If I can try and remember tell me who the lead singer is. Foregone Conclusion.
I'm looking it up right now. Hold on.
Yeah.
I got to put in band because it just gave me the definition for that.
Yeah. Band, Foregone Conclusion, British.
Oh, David Brent.
David Brent, yes. David Brent, the lead singer of Foregone Conclusion.
Kind of looks like that comedian. What's his name? Ricky
Gervais, yeah. Yeah. Looks almost exactly the same.
God, look at the hair. Holy smokes. Oh, wait. He was. Wait. Oh, it is him.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the members and it says Ricky Gervais.
It is him. It's from The Office. Great show, by the way. Great show. There.
Oh, so is it a fictional band from The Office and they made it a real band?
Yeah.
you.
Hey, let's talk about the supernatural.
Ooh, spooky.
So we scary, spooky things that go bump in the night. So we talked a little bit about cryptids recently. We had Crash, Adam, and Hans hanging out with us. We touched a little bit on aliens, not a lot. We'll probably circle back around to that.
We were supposed to have a show on that.
Yes.
Last week. Well, not last week. Last week. But
I think
we'll get there. We'll
circle back around.
I started watching the X-Files again, so I'm all in that mood.
Yeah. I need to go. Where are you watching X-Files on? I should actually.
Amazon has that channel like Freevee. It's on there.
Yeah. All right,
I don't know if it's available in Australia, but it's on Freevee here.
I'll have a look.
So hopefully it is there.
But the supernatural.
I have the entire DVD collection, but I'm watching it on Freevee.
Zach wants to believe. Well, I mean, sometimes it's more convenient just to turn on the TV and have it right there to go.
Yeah. I definitely want to believe. I got the poster right there. The poster's right over there. I went to an X-Files convention back in like the mid '90s.
Right.
They
Oh, in the height of the popularity.
Yeah, it had in this old Navy Navy hangar. It was right before the movie came out.
Yeah.
So Alex Krycek was there. You remember Krycek? Though he was when Scully got kidnapped in the first or second the Dwayne Barry episode. You guys remember that, right? The guy from Life Force. He's like an ex-FBI guy, goes nuts and he kidnaps Scully, and then the aliens take her away instead of him. And she's gone.
I remember the episode, but I can't picture the guy you're talking about.
Wait, I have a phone.
Hey. That's how we do things around here.
Nicholas Lee. That's funny that I know his name too, right?
So I liked the X-Files. It was obviously huge when it first came out.
X-Files. Sorry.
Come in.
Google's being a pain in the butt. Hold on.
Gaggle.
The X-Files. Gaggle. I should use that. No, don't look that up. Here we go. So the Cancer Man was there.
Right.
I think one of the lone gunmen, the guy with the long hair, I forget his name, and Krycek. And I was like a massive Krycek fan for some reason. I don't know why. He was an asshole.
You've built this up.
Yeah, this is Krycek. This is Krycek when he was the posing as the FBI agent.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah.
So he was there. They had a whole bunch of stuff. It was really cool. It's fun.
I loved X-Files, and I know that it leaned heavily into UFOs and stuff, but I really enjoyed the episodes where it was supernatural and unexplained and not always aliens.
They did the one-offs because they did it like the way you're supposed to do when you do a 24, 22 to 24 episode season. You have an arc. So you have arcs, right? So you have your arc stories, and then as it goes into the arc, you have all these filler episodes like Jersey Devil, the host, that like thing that was in the septic tank, and
right,
all that crazy stuff. Oh, the bugs. Oh, the light bugs in the woods.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was a great episode. Oh.
And that guy where his head would explode if he didn't travel at a certain speed or increase the speed.
Oh, I don't remember that guy. Do you remember Toombs, the guy that can stretch and he ate people's legs?
Yeah. See, that's what I mean, like that sort of weird stuff. I really like. Like obviously it was all about, in the end, it was all about alien abductions and stuff like that. Yeah. Trying to find his missing sister. But it was that sort of stuff that I was really into. I've always been really into ghosts and the supernatural sort of stuff. Always believed in that sort of stuff.
You ever watch those type of movies or episodes? It could be like a show. You ever watch like The Night Stalker with Kolchak? Sure. Kolchak the Night Stalker?
I don't think so.
It's an old 70s. It's an old 70s show. I have it right over here somewhere. And
I used to like Twilight Zone. There used to be TV shows based on Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th. I used to like those shows too.
I shared it in the chat the last week. They somebody showed a movie. It's available on YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube. It's about a reporter in the 70s who works for like Chicago. There's a couple of TV movies, and then it goes into like a couple seasons of a show. He's like a reporter, and it's very much basically what Chris Carter, the creator of X-Files, kind of got the idea for the X-Files to do this show. And he's just a reporter. He goes around and he investigates these weird killings and stuff, and it usually ends up being a vampire, zombies, and all that kind of stuff. And nobody believes him. And he prints them in, and nobody believes him. The editor usually throws away his stories and stuff, but it's fun, and it deals heavily in that stuff. And I forgot why I brought it up.
Oh, check it out.
It's just a good show. It's a really good show.
Have you ever experienced anything that's gone bump in the night?
Well, that's what I was trying to say. You ever watch something that's like that, and like the lights are off,
Mm.
and you get like creeped out, like you
Right.
hear like a noise, like creeped out and stuff. No, I've had like the only like ghost type of experience I've ever had is like, like you see something out of the corner of your eye, like somebody running by,
Right.
and
And
you
there's
look
nothing
back
there.
and there's nothing there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You see like it's like a white streak or something like that. You could have sworn you saw somebody. And
Yeah.
you're like, did you guys see that? And you over and look and there's nobody there. I've had those kind of experiences, but nothing really like no floating phantasms or like slime or
Right.
unfortunately, yeah.
Well, I think
it can. I think it can
everyone
hear
gets
you, Ray.
Yeah.
He's an ugly little guy, isn't he? He can hear you, Ray. Sorry. Go ahead.
So I think everyone sort of felt that that uneasiness when they turn off the lights and have to go through a hallway or go up a set of stairs or whatever. There's that sense of easiness, of the primal fear of the dark, whether or not you're actually afraid of the dark or not is irrelevant. There's always something quite different about the dark.
Yeah.
Like you could walk down a street that looks perfectly safe and secure during the day, and at nighttime it sort of brings out a different feeling to it. And I think I've never really been a very spiritual person, but I like to think that there are, different elements or forces out there that are unexplained.
I would think because I mean, like, life is such. I'm not very religious myself, but life's such a like special thing that I would hate to think that like we have this conscious that like once we pass on, that's it, right?
Yeah,
right.
There's got to be something else there.
There's got to be something there. There's got to be another plane of existence. And if you have unfinished business, you're gonna be floating around trying to get it done, right?
So the premise of unfinished business, the trope of unfinished business, I think is my favorite one because it gives a reason for it as opposed to it's just these things exist and they're just floating around. Like the reason behind it, like the unfinished, wanting to find and I guess the longer in time that unfinished business was, the more tragic that it is.
Yeah. See, I was picturing myself after I pass on that there's a road that I drive to work. I've driven this road to work 20 years now. I think when I pass on that I'm still going to be driving that road. You just see this like ghostly vehicle driving up because I got to get to work and come back.
Oh man, well, all our ghostly buddies in the future will be waiting for you. We're like, where is he still riding down that road?
I'm going to work.
Let's get over here.
Still going to be late.
But I love those stories too.
Yeah.
And they used to, like in the olden days, Wild West, right? There'd be stories of phantom trains, or phantom spirits. Like you look at, if you play Red Dead Redemption 2 specifically, they show certain, they lean into those tropes, and they do have the wailing woman in the woods and the that phantom ghost train that comes out of nowhere. And they all exist for a reason. I think one of my favorite movies in the 90s or early 2000s was 13 Ghosts. Have you ever seen that movie?
It was a good one, yeah. Yeah, it was a good one.
I love that movie. I don't know how well it holds up today, but I love the premise of that movie too, where there are all of these, something happened to these people in life.
And they're haunted. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're just like violent entities now because of it.
Because they've been so long trapped in that plane of existence, trying to, they can't solve it themselves, right? They need help, and nobody knows.
So you think about unfinished business, right? If you're able to project as a spirit and get your unresolved business resolved, while you still have friends and family around that understand it, right, then maybe you've got a chance of moving on. But if we're talking about centuries-old things right? Where their problems are with people that no longer even exist. They've gone on and they're off in their spirit world. We're in the spirit world.
Isn't there a legend of like a pirate ship that's a ghostly pirate ship that like sails around like the Caribbean? Think I heard something about that.
Sure, but I love that idea too.
Yeah.
Like ghost ships.
But you think there's something to it, right? Because as we're kids, right? I was just thinking about this. I was thinking about this the other day. It's like, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, I was terrified of something of something under my bed.
Oh yeah.
Just to the point where even now today, I purposely have stuff under my bed, so there's no room for anything to be under the bed.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
The ghost is gonna look under there and go, nah, it's too crowded.
It sounds crazy. This sounds crazy, and I can't believe I'm going to say this online, so it's going to be here forever. But I tuck my sheets in on the bottom of my bed because I get like creeped out if I hang my foot off the end of the bed. I feel like something's going to grab it. So I'm still thinking there's something under my bed.
Here's Zombie Hunter 115. Hey guys.
Hey buddy.
How are you, buddy?
But yeah, honestly, I mean, like, but nobody ever said to me there's something under your bed. I just thought how many kids when they're kids they're afraid of something under the bed. It's like a tradition for children. So there must be something to it, right? Well, the boogeyman, yeah, the boogeyman. Not that one from the Ghostbusters cartoon because it's hilarious. If I saw that, I'd start laughing.
Yeah.
I'd be like, "You look like Elvis."
Yeah, the boogeyman. You know what though? As a kid, I was afraid of things under my bed. I was afraid of things in the closet, even behind the door. Like if the door was open, like something behind the door would be creepy. As an adult, though, right? As scary as it might be to come face to face with a ghost, I think as an adult it would vindicate the belief in the supernatural, right? Like. It would be like, oh, okay, there is something after death, and it is, whatever it may be. Hopefully, nothing too freaky like the boogeyman, but it would, I guess, give a lot of people peace, as scary as the prospect of it might be. Like, it would give people peace that there is something else out there.
I would think, yeah, but I mean, like, if you were to meet something like that, and it's trapped, and all it can do is terrify you. I mean, you don't know if it's really trying to terrify you, if it's angry because it can't get its unfinished business done or whatever it is. I wouldn't want to think that that's what's going to happen to me after I die. I'm just going to roam around, driving to work every
Your
day.
unfinished business is worrying about having unfinished business. How are you, Dave?
I'm thinking like I'm just going to be hanging out after I pass away, like watching Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers and the $6 Million Man, because I don't want to go up there if it's not there, right? Or down there, or wherever I go.
I loved Nightmare on Elm Street. So let me tell you something. Yo, Joe, Stephen, how are you, buddy? Let me tell you something. I, as an adult, would still feel a bit weird hanging my foot off the edge of the bed, right? So you're not alone there, Gaz. It's not anything to be ashamed of.
It's freaky. And I still do it. I did it when I was a kid. And I do it now. And I don't know why. Maybe it's just force of habit now.
So I want to ask you, I'm going to give you a story and I'm going to ask you the question. And the question is going to be, I'll get your answer after I tell this little story. The question is going to be, what was the movie that scared you the most as a kid? And I'm going to tell you mine. I went over to a friend's house and I watched The Exorcist, right? And that movie, it was a little bit gory, it was a little bit gruesome, a little bit scary, but it didn't frighten me until I got home, right? So I went home and I said to my mum and dad, I said, oh yeah, I had a good time hanging out at my friend's place. I just watched The Exorcist. And I said it wasn't that scary. And my stepdad, who was a born-again Christian, good man, don't get me wrong, good man. But he put more fear in me after I watched that movie than I ever did in that movie. So he said, that can actually happen to you. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you can get possessed by a demon. And I'm probably like 10 years old or something, right? I thought this was just a movie. I didn't put any stock into it. And then afterwards, when he says that can actually happen to you, you can get possessed by a demon, that can actually really happen. then my 10-year-old brain is starting to think, oh, damn, I did not know that was real, right? And I go, well, how does it happen? He goes, all you have to do is invite the devil in, right? And so I go to bed that night, right? And my own brain starts to fight against me, where it's telling me, it's like, go on, do it. Let the devil in. I dare you, right? And my own brain, I'm fighting in my own brain, going, no, don't do it. So this poor 10-year-old kid could not get any sleep after the movie, not because of the movie, but because of what I was told after the fact. And I was scared of that movie because of it up until I never watched it again up until they re-released it at the cinema. And so I'm an adult now, but still I would not let myself watch it. Like I had panic attacks as a child for weeks after that. But I finally, as an adult, when they re-released it in the cinemas, I faced my fear, and I went in and I watched it again. And I think it took some of the power away from it, and it didn't scare me quite as much as I thought it was going to, because I built it up so much. But yeah, that was the movie that scared me the most, but only because of okay, Stephen, I'll check it out, buddy.
What's that? Oh. So
true, mate, true.
My parents wouldn't let me watch horror movies when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So my stepfather was always in the living room, so he had the cables. We got cable like later on, right? When I was like probably around 8 or 9. So I wasn't allowed to watch any of those, which is fine.
What about the Monster Squad? Were you allowed to watch the Monster Squad?
I watched the Monster. I saw the Monster Squad. I saw that with my landlord's son. He took me down. He was like he took us down there to go see that, and that wasn't scary at all.
No. But classic monster movies, that was okay.
The classic monster movies is okay. So I would get freaked out by like Dracula and like Frankenstein, but I knew that they were like in the old times, right? So like modern style, I think like probably one of the first horror movies I saw was American Werewolf in London.
Oh, great movie.
That kind of freaked me out.
Yeah.
But more of the transformation and all that, and then the goriness. Cujo was another one that freaked me out.
Yeah.
You know, I thought I'd seen The Exorcist, but for me and a friend of mine had just recently gone and see it. They did a one day showing of it, and I realized that I had never seen it. I got it mixed up with another one, which I think was like the second one.
Okay.
I thought what's his name? George C. Scott was in it, and he's not in it. Like, where's George C. Scott? He's not in this. He's like, no, I think that's the second one. I'm like, damn, I've never seen this one then. But I think the movie that most scared me, and you're probably gonna laugh. It's not. It's kind of a horror movie, but it's not supernatural. It was Jaws. It scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
I was at my cousin's house, and it was under 10, so my parents were there, and it was coming on TV to watch, and the uncle said, "You can watch this with us." And I wasn't supposed to, because my mom and my stepfather wouldn't let me watch it. They wouldn't let me watch stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So after I got to watch it, I was scared shitless. I wouldn't even go near the ocean. We went to the beach. I wouldn't go in the water because I was scared. But that's not supernatural. Yeah, so that's not supernatural, but still, that's the crap out of me.
Well, I mean, I think it counts, though, because after watching Jaws myself, I was afraid to go swimming even in a swimming pool, right? Where I thought some sort of supernatural shark would come out of nowhere and come and get me. Right, so I mean, I think it counts. It's a great movie. I agree.
I love that. To this day, I love that movie. I watch it all the time.
Yeah, it holds up. It holds up.
Yeah. But I mean, for like a supernatural movie, there's some of that I just won't watch because I just don't. I'll get freaked out. I still get freaked out today watching them. I have to watch it with all the lights on.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to watch a horror by myself.
If there's somebody home, I'm cool. If I'm by myself, I'm like turning all the lights on.
So I'm the kind of movie watcher where I allow myself to be fully immersed into it. So when there is a genuine scare, I get physically afraid, right? I physically get shocked. I will yell out, right? If even at the cinema, right, I am zoned in to what's happening, and even a jump scare can send. And they're designed. Jump scares are designed, and they're probably the cheapest scare you can get. But I am the guy during a jump scare that will jump up out of his chair and go, oh, you know.
But I will say when I saw The Exorcist in the theater and I watched it, man, still those scenes with what's her name being the possessed scenes. Some of them you'll laugh at, but some of them you're like, oh, that's some scary shit.
In The Exorcist?
Yeah, that's some freaky shit.
That
even though you know it's all practical effects, you know the story behind it, you've seen behind the scenes stuff, and then you watch it and still it kind of gives you that chill when you watch it.
What about Poltergeist?
Poltergeist was one, yeah. And actually, that's one that scared the crap out of me too.
Yeah, me too.
Whenever I saw the fuzz screen, you kind of freaked out.
Yeah. Oh, well, you don't get that on TVs now, but
you used to.
Yeah, you used to. So I used to, when I was a kid, if I stuck out to watch some TV and fell asleep, and then the station went off air, and then it was like the crackling sounds and the white ants and black ants fighting each other on the screen.
When they allowed me to have a TV in my room, I used to like on like the weekends I would stay up late. And you get those old time movies. That's where I found like the monster movies. The old monster movies and stuff like that, because they would show them at night. Just loved them, but they like freak you out. You know that they're in the past, but still like Dracula and all that stuff coming through your window kind of freaks you out. But not like super scary. Like I was afraid to get up. Not you watch Poltergeist or watch like The Exorcist and you're like outside there's room. The rooms out there are dark. You're like, oh shit.
You know what did give me nightmares? Probably for I got to say at least a few weeks, was when I first saw the video clip for Thriller.
Oh yeah, that was a good
I was young and impressionable. My uncle had recorded it off of TV, and hey, Sonny's is here. How are you, Sonny? And he goes, "Have you seen the new Michael Jackson film clip?" I said, "No." And he goes, "Check this out." And we're watching it, and I was like, "Holy!" Like Vincent Price is great, but that the makeup was fantastic. The story behind, like the bookends, the story between the song, amazing.
It was like a mini movie in itself. It was great.
Yeah,
I loved it on the other end because it was just like, again, I was at that age, I was a fan of the old Universal movies. So like that was all of it just thrown together with some zombies and stuff. And you're like, this is great. This is awesome.
Zombie, Wolfman, Vincent Price. I mean, it was just, I love it today. But for weeks, that would give me nightmares. And I had dreams that Michael Jackson. Now this is different fear of Michael Jackson than I'm sure a lot of people had later in life. But I was afraid that he was going to come busting through my wall,
do the dances and come up to you.
Yeah.
No, and you gotta. Then you get into the Beat It. You get into the Beat It video where they tie your hands together and you do the dance out fight scene. Yeah.
Right. I mean, even that's pretty wild when you think about it. Like they tie themselves together and then have blades. That's messed up.
It's an art form that's lost on today's musicians, I think.
I remember watching. Yeah, it is. Yeah, the music video, the storytelling, even the music, it's lost its charm. Which is why Largo does a great show where you can check out some music.
What's up, Jim?
Check out some music from. He has guests on his show, and they talk about some music. I got to hang out there and talk about some Aussie music.
That's a good show.
It hits different now. I think it hits different now than it did. But I think some of the ones that were later in life ones that scared me were, I went and saw the Blair Witch Project back when people thought it was real found footage.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We know now that isn't the case, that it isn't, right? But it was.
I have to admit, we were looking forward to seeing that because we were believing the hype. And then my friend at the time, she's like, check this out. and he had recorded it, and it was an interview with the stars of the movie. So
Right.
it blew it. But even though I knew it wasn't real,
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't real when I was there, and I was laughing at everybody else who thought it was real in the theater. I'm going, oh God, you believe it? That end scene, I jumped. I
Right.
jumped. I jumped.
Perfect ending because it's so ambiguous, and it's like how else do you end it? Like there's no real good way to end that kind of movie.
It's
you have to leave it open. But so I went there. I went and watched it at night. I walked home from the cinema at night, and it was I think it was opening weekend, right when, because I was huge into cinema, so I had to go and see everything opening weekend. And everyone was under the belief that it was real found footage, right? Yeah. And that's how they were spinning it on TV. All the commercials and everything was saying it was found footage. And this is infancy of the internet chat forums and stuff, right? So nobody really is being able to look up a lot of this stuff. But yeah, I walked away from the movie just absolutely terrified. And then I went back and rewatched it after finding out, like on DVD. Went back and rewatched it after finding out that it wasn't real, and I was like, okay, like it's considering what they did, like it's pretty good, but it doesn't hold the same scare factor.
But that end scene still, that last scene.
Terminator does have some really truly scary scenes.
That I have to say the first one scared me too, because I was afraid of that actually happening.
Well, at first I was afraid, then I was petrified.
Because when you're a kid, you put yourself in that situation. What am I going to do? What happens when that happens, and I have to fight these things in the future? I don't want to live in that world.
The end of the world, the atomic bombs, the robots taking over.
And you as a kid, you're picturing like little Gazz and Gazz running with laser guns for their lives. I don't want to do that. I want to become a J. Jones.
Yeah, I'm no hero. I think I have a legitimate fear of birds. Just birds. No real reason.
Have you seen Birds?
I have seen that movie, and that is Alfred Hitchcock. The Birds is brilliant movie, great storytelling. One of those ones that's pretty ambiguous as to why things are happening this way, which I love. When it comes to a scary movie, I don't want to be told why.
Just want to see.
Right? I'm happy just to know that it is right. Yeah. This is what's happening, and you don't have to know why.
One of the ones that creeped me out was that M. Night Shyamalan, what his name is?
M. Night. Yeah.
The one with Mel Gibson. What is that? Signs. That was freaky when I watched that.
Yeah, my kids loved that movie. That one bit where they're watching it on the TV and it comes across the screen. Yeah.
And it's like the like neighborhood in like America somewhere, and I'm like, did you see that? Like it's actually real, but oh man, that was freaky. There's a couple of them that are kind of like that. It's like, I don't actually like this movie too much, but I think it's The Happening with I
didn't mind it. My mum loved that movie. I didn't mind it. The acting is a little bit weird, but that one's a little bit ambiguous too. On Jim, if you think emus are bad, you should check out cassowaries.
Oh yeah. Think Jim. Think The Giant Claw. What The Giant Claw should have been, the movie. Have you ever seen The Giant Claw?
I haven't seen it, but if you recommend it, I'll check it out. But emus are one thing. Cassowaries, though, they will mess you up.
Yeah, so I was just thinking there was a Bigfoot movie that I just watched within the last 6 months, right?
Yeah.
And this guy's girlfriend disappears in the woods, and he goes to look for her, and then they find some stuff that kind of suggests that she didn't make it, right?
Right.
And so he ends up figuring that, believes the legend that Bigfoot killed her. So he goes and seeks revenge against Bigfoot. So he goes to look for Bigfoot, right? But it's not just one Bigfoot; it's a couple of Bigfoot. And it's Bigfoot or Big Feets. Anyway, so the way they did the Bigfoot, they were vicious, and they made bark masks out of trees, so they blend in the background.
Okay, that's smart.
And I'm thinking this. I'm like, oh my god, that is crazy. So now when I go for walks or like hikes in the woods, I get kind of creeped out because I'm already thinking Bigfoot's out there, right? I'm already thinking he's out there somewhere. I'm like looking around, you hear a little crack, and you're like, oh, it's Bigfoot, right? And then I'm thinking he's got the bark mask on, and he's watching me. He's ready to jump me.
Have you seen? This isn't really supernatural, but I thought it was a great movie and kind of in the same vein as found footage. But Troll Hunter.
Yeah, the kaiju trolls.
Yeah,
like a Norwegian movie. That's a pretty decent movie.
It is a great movie.
Yeah.
Breakdown? I don't know if I've seen that one. Breakdown with Kurt Russell.
That's where they kidnap his wife.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, but I mean, back to the paranormal. We're jumping into movies, right?
Yeah.
Paranormal though. I mean, like there was in my old neighborhood where I lived there was a house that everybody said was haunted because it looked like a mansion and stuff. But I'm like, I always look at it and you get creeped when you walk. You get creeped out when you walk by it because people.
You got to hold your breath when you walk past.
And you're looking up at the windows, and then somebody goes, "Oh, I saw a ghost. He's up there," and you get freaked out. And then it goes to the front where you think you're like not scared, so you walk in front of it. Then it gets to the point where you're walking on the other side of the street, and you won't.
Well, there was a house when my kids were younger that looked. It was a great looking house, but bigger. It was a bigger house on the block than any other house, and looked older than any other house too.
Yeah.
So I don't even know why it was even there. Like it did not fit the rest of the street. And I used to tell them that was a ghost house, haunted mansion. Yeah. So
we have a town to the north, Salem, Massachusetts.
Right. Yes.
Apparently that's haunted, but it's kind of hard to like figure it out because every time you go there's so many tourists trying to get the haunting experience. So it's like I'm thinking at this point the ghosts are just like punching a clock. You're like, yeah, all right, cool. Yeah. We're here.
So I don't know, go jump in the car with Gazz and go just driving down the street.
Yeah, we're driving away.
But I think there's a lot of I think when it comes to monsters like Dracula and Wolfman and stuff like that, I think obviously not Frankenstein's monster, but there's sort of cryptids and as well as the folklore monsters that later on became like universal monsters. I think that there's some history tied between that sort of stuff, but when it comes to the supernatural, that's sort of like harder to pin down as where the beginnings came from. Those sort of the lore of spirits and ghosts and stuff like that. Sleepy Hollow, great movie too.
Yeah. Well, there was one cryptic that we brought up last week. I think it's more of a what we're talking about is the Mothman. That's in like, I want to say it's in Pennsylvania, but it might be in Virginia. I'm not sure.
You can say that. You can say it.
I think it's there, and it always just shows up when something's about to happen. Like it first appeared when a bridge collapsed. Like it appeared, and then the bridge collapsed, and then it was like pending doom. So every time you seen it, something was going to happen, and that kind of freaks me out. Like I want to go down and check it out, but then part of me just says, you know what? I think I might just drive around that town if I go there. To go around that area.
Mothman doesn't actually do anything except predict.
Because some of the stories is that it comes down and it attacked a couple while they were driving down the road.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I remember that.
But it's kind of like hard because there's like different versions of it. Yeah, and it's kind of like Jersey Devil. Like some people say that it's a person that just grew up in the wild, so they're more animal than they are human. But then some people think that it's like a Bigfoot type of creature that's out in the woods. But I think
there's definitely a lot more out there than we can explain, and I think I think it's human nature to want to try and explain, but it's also human nature, I think, to want to believe in something more.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we all want to think there's more to this, more to this existence than just what we are now, right? There's got to be other levels to it. And some people just believe in reincarnation, that you die, you come back, you live again.
But what happens if the world blew up? What would you come back as?
Well, I mean, this is a topic for our UFO discussion or our alien discussion. But no, I mean, I would think that, like, my idea is, like, if we're reborn, maybe we don't come back here. We come back somewhere else, on another world, another species or something.
That would be cool.
I guess, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But I mean, if these things are real, if we can trap them and catch them,
well,
then we can bust, and busting makes us feel.
Busting makes us feel good. All right, we'll finish up soon, but do leave a like on this video if you haven't already, and make sure to do check out Gazz. His Instagram links are in the description. How are you, Paolo? Hasbro did us dirty with the first line they released, only packing a proton stream with just one figure. Oh, that's true.
Is that the re-release stuff?
Wasn't that Mattel? Mattel brought them out, the Maddie Collector Ghostbusters line, and not everyone had a proton stream. Only one figure did.
Well, I look at proton streams as like the laser guns for G.I. Joe. I'm gonna make it up myself. But I mean, if they're supposed to pack them with them, they should. But like these O-ring guys, I don't think they should have them. I think we could do our own stuff.
You don't reckon they need it? I don't reckon they need it.
I don't reckon they need it at all.
I'm glad that
if you're gonna have that, then you're gonna need the trap to open up and have like a light source come out of it. I don't need that.
Yeah, you're right. Then I don't remember that, but I don't remember that. But yeah, that is pretty garbage. Only giving one proton stream.
It is, though. It is, yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy for them not to have it. But if they do have it, make everyone have it. And I'm glad that they're not attached to it all the time like the real Ghostbusters were. The real Ghostbusters were. One thing I hope that the hose for the wand to the pack is like a rubber, yeah, not just like plastic. I'd be happy if the whole backpack is just rubber. Yeah, that'd be cool too. But I mean, I guess you can probably buy a hose. It looks like it's got a little thing in there, but damn, those look good. Look at those. Yeah. Speaking of that kind of stuff, did you ever watch the show Supernatural? Yeah. That's a good show. That's a really good show. On my wayward son. That's a pretty good rendition of that song. There was one episode that freaked me out, like the woman in white. Do you remember that one? They see her on the bridge, then they go to check it out, and then the car starts up and it like tries to run him down. She would stand on the side of the road and you pick her up as a hitchhiker, and then she'd kill you. No, I don't remember that one. I remember the one where Dean is afraid of the dogs, little puppy dog. the one where he becomes chicken and he screams at everything. Yeah, that was a good one. I didn't watch it religiously. My wife watched it all the time, and I would just pick up episodes every now and again. So I remember seeing that episode. I remember there was one with, and again, this is one of those ones where I didn't mind it when it wasn't always just like vampires and stuff, or it was like just anything. When you had when you get all like the like the spiritual stuff, I like that. Oh, what's up, Cock Boys? Hey, Cock Boys in the house. But no, I a friend of mine would tell me that I should watch it, and I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot, and I watched it, and I just got sucked into it. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. I like it. Is there an Ecto one? You know it. You know it. Look at that. Look at that. There it is. Wow. Wow. So I had the Playmobil set for this,
right, for Ghostbusters. And my little nephew came over, and he just like was drawn to it and started playing with it. Then he went home, and then he came back again, and he's drawn to it. And I just said, I looked at him and I go, look, just take it. You can take it.
Yeah. I lost a lot of Transformers because I've been collecting action figures and stuff all my life, even before I had kids. But I remember giving my Vinyl Tech and alternators to my kids to play with, and they just decimated them. And those things were made of metal, you know. And they busted it, and that did not make me feel good.
He did. Like, I have a whole bunch of like little toys and stuff like that, but he was only drawn to that one for some reason. So I just said, why don't you just take it? I already have like 4. I have 4 different versions of it, so you can take that one. But damn, what a vehicle! What an iconic '80s vehicle, just to get out of paranormal stuff. But like you got a couple of vehicles that stand out from the '80s. Yeah, and that's got to be at least in your top 5. It's the Ecto one.
All right, who else we got? We got Back to the Future DeLorean.
If we're just talking film, right? If we're just talking film movies. Yeah. You got Ecto. You have the Destroyer from Megaforce.
Yeah.
And you have the Delta Mark IV. You have Blue Thunder.
Oh,
Mad Max's Interceptor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think else right here. You got Pork Chop Express.
Team Band.
Well, that's if we're taking TV shows, but we're talking just movies, the film. Yeah. But yeah, I'm just thinking if you take it all into effect, you got Ecto, Kit, 18 Van, the Coyote from Hardcastle McCormick, the Ferrari 308 from Magnum.
Well, there are some vehicles that aren't just iconic, but they're necessary. And the Ecto 1 is necessary. But here's the thing about the Ecto 1 is that they made it way cooler than they had to, because it could have just been a car, right? Yeah. They need to get from point A to point B, right? So they could have made anything. Batmobile's definitely on there.
I'm going to say this, and I don't want to crap on the film. I don't want to crap. I think it's been crapped on enough. But here, just to point this out, you take a look at this, and you look at Ecto 1, right? This is Ecto 1, right? They had the call to action, or answer the call, Ghostbusters, the one that came up before Afterlife, and they tried to create the Ecto 1 with using a similar hearse, and it didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't look as good. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to crap on the movie or anything like that, but it just didn't look good. You look at that's classic. That's a classic like paranormal vehicle. The fins,
yes,
the old ambulance. The colors perfect. You know what I mean?
And it's kind of a ghost in itself as well, right? It's definitely it doesn't work like it should. The siren sounds a bit dead. It sounds a little bit off. We love it. Don't get me wrong, we love it, but it sounds a bit sick. Like it doesn't sound proper. It sounds a little bit warped.
In designing it, you could see like all the equipment that's on the roof. And the blue hole is coming down the side. That's like Ring Egon, just like we need this, we need this, we need this. I think there's even a trap on the roof. I think there's a trap.
Is the red thing a trap?
No, I think that's a sensor. Actually, you know what? Hold on.
Let's have a look. Yeah. Check out the book. Check it out one time, won't you? This is what we have a book for.
Another thing here, because I know there's like blueprints of the Ecto 1 in here.
Yeah, let's find out.
Look at him.
Dustin makes me feel good. Yeah, and a rack for the proton pack, so good. I Need a New Drug. Song from Huey Lewis and the News, being potentially used, stolen for Ray Parker's Ghost.
He took them to court. They won the case as well. All right, so on the roof, it's just a sensor. It's a sensor unit raised. Okay, that red bit. I thought I saw in here.
Go ahead, Kiwi. They definitely had a trap on the roof in the video game.
Yeah, so they have in this book they have some alternate versions of the Ecto 1, and I'm glad they didn't go with them because they look freaking terrible. And I'm going to show them right here.
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
All right, we go right here. Look at this. Look at that. So
I kind of like the top one.
Yeah, the cab, right? The New York cab.
Yeah.
And the bottom was like a limo.
So these are alternate for Ghostbusters 2?
Like this is alternate renditions of what the Ecto 1 was going to be.
But it's got Ghostbusters 2 symbol on it.
Oh, maybe they were going to use it too. Yeah. But I'm glad they didn't go with that because that looks terrible. I mean, I could see this one working, maybe, definitely not this one. But I'm glad they just stuck with this.
The top one, I reckon, would look good as a backup vehicle because it looks different enough. It looks different enough from the Ecto 1, right? If they need to get to 2 different parts of town, they jump in the Ecto 2.
I mean, I guess if they had an alternate version, if they had another version of the Ecto, would be cool. God, we're just
Gilster is asking us to debate Ghostbusters versus Back to the Future. If you could only watch one and you could never watch the other, would you pick Ghostbusters or Back to the Future?
One or the other, huh? One or the other.
Like you don't have to. There's in a perfect world you got both.
No, all right. If I'm gonna choose, I can only watch one. I can only. All right, I'm going on a spaceship. I can only take one of the movies.
Or let's just simplify it. It's movie night, and we get to pick one movie. Which one are we watching?
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I agree. But why?
One because I think the chemistry between the Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis and Ernie Hudson are just it's so good. It's good the way they play off each other. You throw in Sigourney Weaver. The storyline is really cool. The special effects for the time is really cool. The movie looks really clean. Ecto 1. I mean, if I'm going to choose one, like Ecto 1, if I could drive one, I want to drive the Ecto 1 over the DeLorean. Just because, I mean, that car is just, for me, stands out more. And I'm not just saying this because we're talking about a supernatural. This is a Ghostbusters type of thing stream. I'm saying that because I think myself, I like that. I like it better. I think it just hits more here than Back to the Future does. I love that.
I misunderstood the assignment. Apparently, there was a lawsuit. What's the Ghostbusters versus Back to the Future lawsuit then? I don't get it.
There is. I know. The only lawsuit that I know tied into it was that Ray Parker stole the theme song, the rhythm of that one song.
I think that every single character in Ghostbusters is perfectly cast and is brilliantly performed. Now, I'm not saying that isn't the case for Back to the Future, but you've got some heavy hitters in Ghostbusters in their prime.
I mean, some of the lines in Ghostbusters are just great. Like Bill Murray walks up to the doorman, "Hey, what happened?" "Oh no, man, somebody brought a cougar to a party."
Right.
It's like well now it's like it could be a different meaning, right? But I mean, like you see this thing jump, it comes through there, and they're like freaking out. Oh, it's a cougar. It's too big to be a cougar, but it's just great. And like Harold Ramis, that's still one scene alone where he's like outside the restaurant. He's trying to somebody let me in. He turns around. He's like, "Nice doggy, little pooch. Hey, pooch." It's like,
good doggy.
Or like,
and then he talking to the horse.
Yeah,
and he's asking if it's the is it the gatekeeper?
Yeah,
he's the key master, right?
Yeah, he's the key master. He's looking for the gatekeeper, Zool.
That scene where Dana's like, "I want you inside me" or whatever, and he's like, "Go ahead." No, there's already too many people in there already.
I know. Are you the key master? No. Close the door. She just opens it up again. You can. Yeah. Well, I know him.
Yeah.
When he goes into the house for the first, when he goes to her apartment and he's like, "Hey, it's Dr. Vakeman."
Yeah.
He's got that weird.
He does a piano thing. He does a piano. They hate that.
It's like you know that he's a con man. He just comes off as a con man, completely. And then in the second one, you see how like he's got that show and he's got the two guests on. They're talking about the end of the world, and the one guy's like, "Yeah, it's gonna end New Year's Eve," and he's like, "Well, that doesn't give you time to make some book sales and all that stuff." And then he goes to the other girl. Yeah, it's a bummer for you. I hope it sells.
Yeah.
And he looks at the other girl, and she's like, "Yeah, what'd she say? Like 2015 on Valentine's Day." He's like, "Ooh, Valentine's Day."
Bummer.
Oh man, it's just I don't know. I like the way that movie just it acted and the way it's cast and just the whole feel of the movie better than Back to the Future. But it's not like I won't turn Back to the Future off if it comes on. I'm watching that movie every time. It's cool. It's fun.
Yeah, Huey Lewis had a cameo in Back to the Future.
Yeah, he did. Huey Lewis is one of my top bands.
Huey Lewis and the News. Yeah.
Love them.
I couldn't tell you any of the members of the News though. Is that bad?
Me neither. I know there's a couple of guys. There's a cool guy with the saxophone, glasses, a guitarist. No,
there isn't enough saxophone solos these days.
No, there isn't. The only other person I could think of doing that was like Eddie Money. Eddie and the Cruisers. You ever see that movie? That's a good movie.
Which one?
Eddie and the Cruisers. Eddie and the Cruisers.
You
ever seen that? Oh my god, you've never seen that? John Cassidy and the Beaver Brown. Yeah, Beaver Brown Band does a whole soundtrack to that. I'll send you a link to the album. It's pretty good.
All right, I'll check it out. So I think Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2. I don't know if you're talking about Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3. I think they go pretty good as a trilogy. Even though they sort of retroactively created the ending for the beginning of Ghostbusters 2, sort of like changed it up a little bit to make it work. I think it's a pretty perfect trilogy. Ghostbusters 1 and 2, I mean, then I like Ghostbusters 2, but I don't think it quite has that sort of completeness to it.
Well, no, you don't like when you watch Ghostbusters 2, you don't expect it, but I guess it's more realistic that instead of getting paid by the city, they get sued for all the damage that they created.
Which is hilarious. And then people are like just denying that it even happened. You know what? And I believe that would happen too, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing, right? There's no matter how many times we see things about UFOs or whatever, we're still skeptical about it. But one day they will prove that there are UFOs, and you know what? It'll be almost overnight. It'll be just old news. It's like, okay, we've got UFOs now. Well, back to work.
Well, I mean, like if you look at it, right? Because in the beginning, they're doing parties instead of busting ghosts. Like they can't use their proton packs because they've been banned to use them, right? They can't use them, so they're doing parties to try to make money. Like everybody blames them for the damage, but they don't believe any of that really happened. So everybody who's seen the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is like, that didn't happen.
Yeah, that didn't happen. Right. Who cleaned up all the marshmallow? Apparently, that was shaving cream.
Yeah, I just sit there and I'm like, do I want to get covered with a whole bunch of marshmallow? Damn right I do.
Yeah, I do. Yes, I do. What a great idea.
Do you ever think about what you would think in that moment when she Gozer says, think of the oncoming doom.
Destroy it.
Yeah. What would you like? I can only imagine with you would be like a giant Sarge.
Yeah. and I would not even be upset. It'd be like heel Sarge though. If it's coming in bad guy, heel Sarge.
But I mean, I don't know what you would think, and just for Ray to go, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man just popped in there, couldn't help it. He just popped in there.
I like that earlier in the movie they've got that bag of Stay Puft marshmallows so that you can and the practical effect of those eggs popping out of the carton.
Oh my god, it was brilliant.
How good is that?
Yeah, you know what I loved about those old movies was the product placement. Like no matter what angle you see the refrigerator at, the Coke can's always facing you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or the box of Cheetos in Egon's lab. There's like a box of Cheetos, and no matter I think it changes scenes a couple times, and the front of the box is always facing you.
Is that? Oh, I'm going to go back and watch it now.
I think I believe
obviously you got the Twinkie. You got the what was the candy bar that he gives Egon?
Oh my God, was it a I think it was 1,000. It wasn't a. I think it was no, it wasn't a Baby Ruth. I think it was a $100,000 bar. I think it was a $100,000 bar.
Okay. So the first time I ever even heard about a Twinkie was in Ghostbusters. We didn't have Twinkies here for a long time.
Oh, really?
Never. Yeah, so I never had one, and I'd always wanted a Twinkie because of that movie. And then I finally found one in Australia, and I had it, and I was like, damn it. Now the magic is gone. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't what I expected.
Tell them about the Twinkie. What about the Twinkie?
What about the Twinkie?
Hey, if there's a steady paycheck in it, I'll believe anything you tell me.
Yeah. Good old Winston. So I liked Winston's introduction. But apparently he was supposed to be the one that was slimed.
The one where by Slimer? He wasn't part of the group yet. I think there's a
No, but I think originally he was written to be the person that got slimed. He was supposed to be earlier in the movie.
Yeah, I think because if you watch the first one, I think they got a little bit of the shots mixed up because there's a whole like when they hire. Yeah, all right, it was a Crunch Bar, wasn't it?
Thanks, Zap.
Thank you, Zap. When you watch them, like when they hire Zedmore, right?
Yeah.
They come walking in because they got busted. They're busting stuff. Then they go into where he goes and talks to Dana, right?
Yep.
And he's wearing the orange shirt. Then he goes back, and then Peck is there, right? And they're down, and I think they mixed that up. I think because it looks like it was supposed to be like he walks in, they hire Zedmore, they go downstairs, they do the whole thing with the Twinkie, right? And then he goes in his office, and that's when Peck shows up. Right. If you look at him, he's all got slime on him and stuff like that. I think they kind of that's just me watching the movie too many times.
Yeah.
Like getting too.
Well, I wonder how many times he actually did get slimed though, going up against different ghosts. Like is it just Slimer that would slime you, or would any ghost going through you leave ectoplasm?
No, because there's a couple of scenes where like they just come walking out and they got slime on them.
Yeah. Like, even the librarian ghost leaves ectoplasm everywhere. Yeah. No human beings stack books like this.
Yeah, nobody. Yeah, somebody blows their nose and you want me to get a sample.
Yeah, it gets in his eye.
What a great movie. What a great movie. Yeah, that movie's. I would watch that over Back to the Future if I had a choice.
I do love Back to the Future.
We just went to see Godzilla over the weekend with a couple of friends of mine, and one of my friends had never seen Back to the Future 2. I'm not Back to the Future 2. No. Ghostbusters 2. He'd only seen the original one. So we're like, all right, I guess that means we're doing a movie night, and you're going to be watching Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2.
What did he think?
Well, we're going to do that. We're gonna get together.
Oh, you're going to do it. They haven't done it yet.
Yeah, we're gonna watch because we'll like watch 3 movies usually. Yeah. Either Godzilla or Star Wars. So we're gonna watch Ghostbusters 1 and 2, and then Afterlife.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, Gaz. I think we'll leave it there, buddy. I'm gonna go make some lunch. Quiet. Do you smell something? Love that. So there's so many great lines in Ghostbusters that it'll be hard to give it up.
It's not even that. Yeah. I mean, even before we go, we even threw in stuff like. Some of the popular like TV shows in like Casey Kasem's Top 40, they had that as well. Like, after they did that, they partied up with the chicks at the band at the club after they busted the ghosts.
The montage scene itself is brilliant, and the soundtrack. I think the soundtrack's also superior.
It's a good Laura Branigan song on there. Thompson Twins as well are on there. There's a bunch of bands on there. It's really good. For anybody who hasn't seen Ghostbusters, go watch it. It's a good movie.
What are you doing? Go watch it.
You know why? Because busting makes us feel good. That's why.
It does. That's right. If there's something strange in the neighborhood, what are you going to do?
Who are you going to call?
Who are you going to call?
Who are you going to call? We're ready to believe you.
But if there is something strange in the neighborhood and you need something to do, go check out Gazz's Instagram. The links are in the description. do check him out one time, won't you? And also,
check out the Clubhouse Instagram page as well, and Facebook page.
But we'll be back. We'll be back to. Oh, thanks, guys. We'll be. This hits different these days, doesn't it? Uh-oh.
What was that?
Hey, Lack showed up at the end. How are you, Lack? Is it true? Yes, this man has no dick. But thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. We do appreciate it. If you, we do shoot the shit as often as we can. I think we're going to come back. I know we're going to do a Mad Max one soon.
Yep.
But we'll probably circle back around to doing the aliens and UFOs and stuff like that. That'll be a good one.
That'll be fun.
But it's always fun to hang out, Gaz. We were going to be hanging out again for Mo Tuesday, but Adam's a bit sick, so we're going to postpone Mo Tuesday until next week. So Gaz will be our guest then.
Hopefully Adam's better by then.
Yeah.
Get well soon, buddy.
Mo Tuesday is the kind of show that we only do if everyone can do it. It's all or nothing with Mo Tuesday.
I just say it's the greatest morning show on the tube.
It's a bloody evening show, mate.
It's a morning show, man. It's a morning show.
It's an evening show. This is a morning show.
No. It's a morning show. Isn't even the theme song have a morning show in it?
Yeah, because he was cheeky and put it in there.
It's a morning show.
Guys,
it's a morning show all the way from Australia. This is great. I love it.
Anyway, I appreciate everyone in the chat. Thanks for hanging out. We appreciate it.
Thanks,
we will be back and in greater numbers. But with that, we'll head out with the old outro. But thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I'll see you on the next one.